Hey everyone, welcome to lesson number 4 of this course. So we have a lot of work ahead of us because right now you can see that all these characters look good, but they are pretty different when it comes to the dark tones and the light tones, when it comes to the black tones on the hair, on the face, and the shadows. So we have quite some work to do right now, but don't worry, it's not going to be so hard. Actually, we're not going to set a specific number to some settings or a specific amount of light or shadows or anything. We're just going to play around until we get the right tones. So it won't be anything specific. Maybe it could be different for you, but don't worry, I will try to guide you all the way. So let's begin with this girl. What I want is the characters to have some sort of magenta tone, kind of like the background. Of course, not so much, but I want them to have just a little bit of a pinkish tone on the face and on the shadows. So first, I'm going to take the female lead and I'm going to go to image and I'm going to select selective color. And selective color is an amazing tool because we can change a specific color tone. We can change the reds, we can change the yellows. In this case, we're going to change the neutrals. Now select neutrals and I'm going to lower the black because right now you can see that the black tones on this female are really hard. So I'm going to lower the black just a little bit, maybe like 10%. I'm going to the blacks and I'm going to also lower the blacks here just a little bit, like -7. All right. Now on neutrals again, I'm going to increase the magenta so that I can have this cool tone. I may increase the yellow too. In fact, let's increase them both to 20% here and 20% here. Maybe just a little bit more of magenta, like 25%. All right. It looks fine. You can see that now the dark tones have a little bit of magenta. Maybe we can even decrease the black some more. Go to black and decrease this to, I don't know, maybe 9%. Okay. Okay, yes, this is looking fine. Now let's go with the antagonist. And we're going to try and match the shadows, tones, and the light tones for both of them. So let's go to the antagonist and go to image and selective color. Go again to the blacks and let's decrease the blacks to around 7%. And the neutrals, we're going to, let's try the same settings, 25 and 20. Let's see how it looks. You can see that the settings applied on the girl doesn't look too good on this guy, so we're going to have to decrease them just a little bit. Okay, now this is more like it. All right, perfect. You can see the settings, the black on -5, the yellow can be on 10, and the magenta on 17. Okay, this is looking way better now. And for the blacks, I think I'm going to increase it just a little bit because I want them both to be on the same tone of dark. You can see that this shadow matches the shadow here on the face of the girl. Okay. Now click OK. Now let's go with this guy right here. I think he may be a little bit of a problem because you can see that the head of this guy is pretty lightened, but this part is really dark. So we may have to make some other things to this guy. But let's first go to Image, Selective Color, and repeat the same process. But actually, we're going to increase the blackness here because right now this guy's hair is really dark and this girl is really dark too, but he is like really pale, so I'm going to increase the black here so that the hair looks the same as this guy. So maybe 25% it's looking good, but now you can see that the coat that he has is really dark and doesn't look very good, but don't worry, we will fix that later. Now go to the neutrals, and again let's increase the magenta, and let's increase the yellow until we match everyone's tones. So I think that maybe 22 on the magenta and just like 14 on yellow, and now they look pretty cool. You can see that they are on the same tone. Maybe we can decrease a little bit of the magenta. Okay. Okay, this is good. Now I want to fix this because the code now is way too dark. So I'm going to duplicate and I'm going to delete the smart filters. And what I'm going to do is, actually I'm not going to remove all the smart filter, where I'm just going to remove the selective color. And I'm going to create a mask here. I'm going to grab my lasso tool and I'm going to draw a shape like this one so that I can select only this part of the coat, and I'm going to select on add a mask. All right. Now I'm going to lower the opacity to maybe 15%. I'm going to rasterize this layer and I'm going to remove some parts of this mask so that we can smooth things up like this. And you can see that the shadows are a little lighter, and that's good. Okay, so this is looking nice. Okay, now finally let's repeat the same process for the male lead, this guy right here. Go to Image, Selective Color, and you can see that the dark tones on him are very different than the ones on the other people. So go to the blacks, and in this case we're going to want to increase this maybe to 12% on the blacks. Let's go to the neutrals and increase again the magenta and the yellow. Not too much, right? This is too much, so we have to be careful with him. All right, now we can lower the blacks on the neutral, like this. Maybe decrease a little bit of the blacks so that the shadows match everyone else's shadows. You can see that the shadows here are a little more pale. Let's see how it looks. Okay, pretty different. This is cool. Now everyone's looking pretty cool. Now there's one final effect that I want to create here, and I'm going to, for example, let's start with the female. I'm going to control click on her layer, and I'm going to create a new layer with this selection. And now I'm going to grab my gradient tool. I'm going to select a 2-color gradient, and for the first color I'm going to take a magenta just like the one on the background, and for the second color I'm going to take this color, the really dark purple. Click OK, and I'm going to draw a gradient like this, but not radial but linear. So from top to the bottom I want it to be like this, magenta on the top and dark on the bottom. Now I want to choose a blending mode of soft light, and I'm going to decrease the opacity to around 35%. Now I have like this very nice tone, and I'm going to repeat this same process for all of the characters. So I'm going control click, create new layer, create the gradient from the top to the bottom, and make this soft light, almost 35% maybe. And the same goes for all the other characters. Soft light, decrease the intensity, and finally for this guy, for him I think this should work. Alright, now they look even cooler. I like this effect. Now let's go back again to this guy, and I'm going to change the selective color a little bit because I want the dark tones on him to be a little darker. So I'm going to increase the black like this. Okay. Now there's another thing that I want to do. I'm going to go to this guy, and I'm going to create a duplicate of him and place it here on the top. And I'm going to create a mask, and I'm going to make sure that the mask has only the shirt shape. Now I'm going to go to Selective Color, and I'm going to make sure that the blacks has a lot of magenta, so that it matches this guy's hair. You can see that before it had it like this, so I want this to have more magenta, and maybe even more black. Okay. Now click OK. Now finally we're going to take all of our characters, we're going to take them all, and we're going to duplicate them with Ctrl and J, and we're going to flap them with Ctrl and E. Let's wait for a minute. And now you will have one single layer for all the characters, but don't worry, we won't use them like this. We're just going to create an adjustment layer for selective color, and this layer we're going to take this shape, control click. You can see that we have selected all of the characters, and I'm going to create a mask with this selection. And now we're going to play. You can turn this off. We're going to play a little bit more with the tones. For example, on the reds, we're going to increase a little bit the cyan. For the neutrals, we're actually going to lower a little bit, increase the black. Let's see what happens if we decrease the magenta just a little bit. And make sure that this is selected so that it applies for all of the things that are below, not only the layer below it. Go to the blacks, and we can increase the blacks a little bit more. Okay, like this. Now we're all set. They all look like they are on the same place, and that's exactly what we wanted with all the selective color tweaking that we just did. Now you can see that the shadows are the same on all of them. The shadows, they have the same lightning. The light come from the same place. The tone of the shadows are the same, and they look more like unified. So that's exactly what we were after. Now let's go to the next lesson, where we will add some title to this cool graphic that we are creating here on Photoshop, so that they look very cool together with all the image. Let's go.